Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a quiet revolution that's already changing the internet, business, and maybe even your career. It's all about a massive shift in power, a movement that's deciding not just how software gets built, but who gets to build it. So, let's just kick things off with a big question. Think about it. What if the next game-changing app wasn't built by a team of coders in Silicon Valley, but by a marketing manager who needs a better tool? Or a teacher in their classroom? Or, hey, maybe even you? And here's the thing. This isn't some far-off sci-fi idea. Nope. This is happening right now. To really get why this is such a huge deal, we have to look back at the old way of doing things. For decades, if you had a brilliant idea for a digital tool, you almost always hit this massive wall. We call it the innovation bottleneck, and for most companies, it slowed things down to a crawl.
I mean, for the longest time, this was just how it was, right? Building anything digital required a whole team of super skilled, very expensive developers, and that meant long development cycles. We're talking months, sometimes years. So imagine you're in sales or HR, and you have this amazing idea for a custom tool. Well, you'd get in line and wait. Your brilliant idea was pretty much stuck, buried in the IT department's massive to-do list.
But that bottleneck we just talked about, well, it's starting to crumble, and it's happening fast. Check this out. Gartner, the big research firm, predicts that by 2026, which is right around the corner, a whopping 80% of tech products are going to be built by people who are not professional developers. Let that sink in. 80%. That's not a small change. That's a full-on tidal wave. So, what's behind this incredible shift? What's the engine driving all this? Well, it's the rise of a totally new way to create, a movement called low-code and no-code development. These are the tools right here that are smashing open that innovation bottleneck for good. The best way to think about it is like this. Instead of having to write thousands of lines of really complicated code, you're basically using drag-and-drop interfaces and pre-built modules. It's kind of like the difference between trying to make a plastic brick from raw oil versus just snapping together a bunch of digital Legos. The whole approach is visual, which makes creating things intuitive and incredibly accessible. Okay, now, it's important to know there's a key distinction here. You've got low-code. That's for users who might have some technical skills. It makes things way faster, but still lets a pro write custom code when they need to. And then you have no-code. And that's built for pretty much everyone else. It's completely visual, and it's empowering this whole new wave of creators called citizen developers. We're talking about marketers, analysts, or HR pros who can now build the exact tools they need for their jobs without ever writing a single line of code.
So what does all this actually mean in practice? Well, the benefits are, honestly, they're profound. We're talking about a fundamental change in speed, cost, and who gets to innovate. And it creates this incredible positive cycle. Okay, so first you build way faster. Ideas that used to take months can now become working prototypes in just days. That speed obviously slashes costs. But here's the real magic: empowerment. All of a sudden, the sales team can whip up its own workflow app. HR can automate its own processes. This solves real problems right on the front lines, and it frees up the central IT team to focus on the really big, complex challenges. It literally creates a culture where anyone can be an innovator. And listen, this isn't just theory. It's happening all over the place. Think about a healthcare clinic that builds a custom patient intake app in a single week, or the small retailer that creates its own inventory tracker, or a bank that automates a super complex compliance report without waiting for IT. These are real solutions being built by the people who understand the problems best, driving efficiency from the ground up.
Now, of course, with any powerful new technology, it's not all smooth sailing. Handing over the power to create to so many people comes with new challenges that organizations need to think about carefully.
Yeah, one of the biggest concerns is something called shadow IT. That's when employees start building apps without official oversight, which you can imagine can create some serious security headaches. There can also be limits to scalability or the risk of getting locked into one vendor's platform. So what it all means is that this new freedom needs new rules. For this to work, you absolutely still need strong governance and a partnership with IT to manage the risks.
But here's the key thing. While those risks are real, they are totally manageable. And honestly, they pale in comparison to what's coming next. Because the LC&C revolution is about to get a massive boost from another technology you've probably heard of.
And that technology, of course, is artificial intelligence. Just imagine this for a second. You don't even need to drag and drop anymore. You simply describe the app you want in plain English. I need an app to track customer orders and send them an email when it ships, and an AI generates a working prototype for you. This is where we're heading.
And let's be clear, this is not about replacing developers, not at all. It's about creating a new kind of hybrid team. A citizen developer from the marketing department might use AI to generate the first 80% of an app, and then a professional developer comes in to add that final 20% of complex, custom code. It's the best of both worlds. You get incredible speed and serious power, all working together.
So, as we pull this all together, it becomes really clear. Low code / no code. This isn't just a passing trend. It's not just another piece of business software. No, it represents something much, much deeper.
What we're seeing here is the democratization of technology. It's about tearing down the barriers that have always stood between a great idea and a real solution. For so long, the power to build software was held by a select few. Now, that power is being distributed to everyone, fundamentally changing the pace of innovation itself.
And that brings us right back to where we started. The tools are here, the barriers are falling, the power to build is shifting from the few to the many. So the only question left is, what will you create?